Robin Williams, of course, will always be remembered for his comedy and acting talent, but his decision to end his life this week means that his battle with depression also becomes, in a way, part of his legacy.
His suicide has thrown the spotlight on mental illness and how it can affect anyone, no matter how happy or successful they may appear to be.
Well, Robin Williams spoke openly about his depression and how he sometimes turned to alcohol to ease the fear. One of his most candid interviews was on American television in 2006.
Was there one moment that you fell into it again? Was it one day?
No, it's very gradual. You're standing at a precipice and you look down. There's a voice, and it's a little quiet voice that goes, jump. It's the same voice. The same voice goes, just one. There's a voice that goes, jump. And the idea of just one. And for someone who has no tolerance for it, that's not a possibility.
To talk about it as caused by something that...
Not caused by anything, it's just there. It's just, you know, it's latent, waits. It lays in wait, and for the time when you think, it's fine now, I'm okay, and then beep, and then the next thing you know, it's not okay. It's not going so well.
Was there something somebody said to you, one sentence that got through, that sailed through?
You're a drunk! No, it's like, it got through to me saying, you need help, and that's the best sentence that got through.
Family, friends, everybody.
Many people. It was pretty much unanimous on that level. And then you go and you say, that's it, yeah, you're right.
How long before you decided this is it?
I don't know. It was a couple of years of just thinking I can do it on my own, and you can't. That's the bottom line. I can do this, I can stop. And you really think you can, and then you realize, I need help. And that's the operative word.
Robin Williams speaking in 2006. Let's talk to Sue Baker now. She's director of Time to Change. It's a program which addresses mental health stigma and discrimination. Good morning.
Morning.
Well, if ever there was a spotlight shone on depression, that's it really, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And, you know, there's nothing good to come out of these really tragic events. And it must have been a horrific time for the family and will remain so. But we are talking about depression. It's not talked openly enough. Neither is substance misuse. And at least we are starting to discuss what depression is, how you can recover from it and cope with it. And we're also talking about the high levels of suicide. We have 6,000 people in the UK who take their lives, and middle-aged men are a very, very high risk.
6,000 people every year. Mm-hmm. And how many people suffer from depression that we know about?
Well, the statistics are 1 in 6 adults, so it's a very common health issue, and we should really talk about it like that. It is a common health issue. It also affects mental health problems that in general affect children and young people. 1 in 10 young people will be affected, and we heard this week about the high levels of self-harm amongst young people. So mental health is a common health issue. In general, all mental health affects 1 in 4 of us, so every single viewer will know and love someone, I promise you that.
Yeah, there's still some stigma attached to it, and many people will struggle. As Robin Williams said in that interview, it's latent. It's not something that you can look at someone and see, be you however close you are as a family member or a friend. And many people will say, well, what signs do I look for? How do I help someone? Because you look at a comedian like that, and other than him being very bold and talking about his illness in interviews, you have no idea.
No, you don't, but there are, like you say, some signs and symptoms to look out for. And I think it's really important just at this stage to say there was some unhelpful commentary yesterday. I heard people saying, as part of media interviews, not as many as you would have done 10 years ago, but still some people saying, what did he have to be depressed about? I mean, honestly,
I mean, we heard those from other stars as well, who have been on social media, who have apologised.
Yes,
it shows how the misunderstanding of depression.
Yes, it still attaches blame and shame, and that's why we've got so much more work to do. Attitudes are starting to shift. We're having conversations like this, unfortunately, because of tragic circumstances. There is more understanding, but we've got a long way to go. Whether you're on a high income, a low income, younger, older, all ethnicities, all sexualities, all genders and sexual identities, we all will be vulnerable to it. It's how you get through life, and 1 in 4 of us will be affected by mental health. There's some really good quotes yesterday where people were saying depression doesn't discriminate.
If you feel yourself sliding into that black box, what can you do about it?
So just to come on to some of the things to look out for as well as what to do, the classic advice that's given is if you are noticing the following things in yourself or in someone else, it could be a sign that you're starting the early stages of depression. So if your concentration is changing, if your enjoyment out of the usual things you get joy out of life is starting to diminish and you're not enjoying the same things to the same degree anymore, if your appetite changes, if you can't sleep as well, if your thoughts are being interrupted. These are usually signs, if they carry on for 2 weeks or more, that it's more than a general up and down that we all have in life. It could be something more serious. So either talk to a trusted family member or a friend, or see your GP more importantly. So do something about it or call a helpline. Don't sit there and struggle on your own, but there is a lot of help out there. There isn't enough. We want more resources for mental health. Because we have been the poor relation to physical health for far too long. But there is help, talking treatments, medication. The love of family and friends can go a long way if you have got that love.
I mean, the difficulty with depression is if you are in it and you've got it, then you think, well, nobody can possibly help me. I'm in here on my own.
Yeah, and that was a really clear message we were putting out yesterday, is there is hope, there is recovery. Sadly, for some people, we haven't got them with us anymore, and obviously Robin Williams is a high-profile example of that. I felt suicidal 12 years ago. I thought about it. I'm thriving in life now, and it's really important we hear from people who have mental health problems, who are coping, are recovered or recovering, so that people do know you can get through it.
It's really unfair to ask you just briefly, what helped you turn that corner then?
It was actually my family and my friends and seeing a therapist.
Okay. Thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.